All right, so it's Eric in South Africa, and I've got Tal who is in Sri Lanka right now. And well, this is
Yeah.
the extent of the remote working world, isn't it? The outer reaches of the
Yeah.
remote
Yes, it
working
is.
world. And but as you can see, we're both able to talk on video right now. So how you doing today over there?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm in beautiful Wiligama in Sri Lanka, drinking a coconut with this lovely view of the surfers on the bay. So life is good over here, I have to say. How about you, Eric? How is South
Cool.
Africa?
I'm really enjoying it. It's just you hear a lot about a place like this, of the good things and the bad things, and all of the just diversity that you're about to encounter. But then when you come and you actually experience it in the flesh, like in person, and you see all of it, taste all of it, smell all of it, it's really amazing. And I'm really having a good time here because it seems like it's one of the simultaneously the most exotic places I've ever been and least exotic places I've ever been, because the influence of European culture and the influence of British culture is omnipresent and sort of like everywhere. However, at the same time, you really feel that you are in Africa, and you really feel that you are in a place where African culture is the dominant force. But then, yeah, and everything in between those two extremes is here. I mean, the sort of I'm in Cape Town right now. I was in Johannesburg for a couple of days over the weekend on my way here, and I can say that it's definitely a lot cleaner and definitely a lot more organized than I thought it would be. The whole place, and it's definitely a lot more like, yeah, you I didn't really realize how extreme it was going to be in terms of multiculturalism and the different accents and the different attitudes and different types of people and all that stuff. And it's a whole amazing mix of diversity. And yeah, I mean, yes, you can see that it's a trouble place as well, but you also see lots of people who are living a really sort of rich life, both materially and sort of spiritually. And that's what's really interesting about it. So it's like everything together. It's one of the most fascinating places that I've been so far, and it's definitely one of. I think this is an up and coming remote working destination as well, and it's definitely a place where I will be spending more time in the future. Now, people ask, is it safe? Does it seem safe? Safety, safety, safety. Well, I'd say probably no. It's not incredibly safe if you're naive in any way. But if you know how to watch yourself, it's probably okay. But yeah, walking around Cape Town in the day, it seems really safe. In the light of day, it seems like really no problem in the central business district where I'm staying. But at night, it gets a little creepy actually. So it changes a lot in the evening. Um, I mean, if you're not up for being on edge, you just take an Uber or something to where you're going in the evening. Yes, there are lots of people who come up to you on the street and ask for money, ask for food, ask for all this stuff, and it's obviously a very unequal society. But I wouldn't really say that yeah that I've felt unsafe. I mean, I'm just provisionally on guard when I'm walking around here, but I mean, there's so many benefits here. Like the food is amazing. The the people are on the whole wonderful, and there's lots of brilliant people of all different races and colors that you meet, and it seems like a society that's divided more. Like, yes, the race thing is a thing, and but it seems like the society is also divided a lot on class and sort of like different income levels. And it's really interesting, the whole thing about white people here is very interesting because they are now a minority and they're not the ruling government, and I really like to see what that brings out of them living as a minority. I mean, of course, they are a lot like white people in other places, like what I'm used to in Canada, but the fact that they're forced to share the space with other people, really, I think makes them more interesting to me, more friendly than a lot of places like Canada or England, where you have the same sorts of, Anglo-Saxon type people, and just a lot more open-minded, I think. Um, so I enjoyed that. Coming from a background where my family was Germans from Slovakia, and living amongst other different ethnic groups, I think is always a plus, to sort of reinforce the good parts of your own culture and adopt the good parts of other cultures, and also question yourself and the way that you behave and your habits and stuff like that. So that sort of diversity, I think, really makes people strong here, and the people that I'm meeting are super intelligent. The talent in the tech industry is super intelligent, and it just seems like, this is a place that, whatever struggle there is here, it really makes people stronger, and it really makes life more vibrant. And yeah, there's a lot of luxury to be found here. It has a first world appearance, like, a lot of the places that you see in the central business district, the restaurants, the sort of, and even more than a first world appearance, but like a posh first world appearance, like the sort of upper middle class sort of thing that you find in America and Canada. That's what you find here, from European culture, not like the other stuff. So that's really interesting as well. What else did I want to say? Yeah, internet is good in general, better than I thought it would be. 4G works really well, but power has sort of been a issue, because they have what's called load shedding, where they shut you down for like 2 hours a day on a pre-planned sort of schedule, or longer, or whatever the power needs are. They will shut you down, and they will tell you when that's going to be, or might be, or whatever. And so we had to rent a generator. But I think that this is, kind of the next frontier for remote working, is this country, because it just offers so much in terms of convenience and cultural compatibility with people, and exoticism that's right alongside that cultural compatibility and sort of accessibility. So that's it about South Africa. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. What are the cost of living? Are they comparable to Chiang Mai or Belgrade, or does it seem more like Toronto, or where
uh,
would you put it under that scale?
well, I'm not renting an apartment here, except for the short-term Airbnb, and that seems like, I don't know. When was the last time I rented an Airbnb in Toronto? I don't know, but that's a little more expensive than Thailand for sure. Um, I've had allergies since I had here. I wish I knew. Since I've been here, I've had allergies, so I wish I knew what I was allergic to. But okay, so the cost of living, yeah, I'd say it's somewhere in between the West and those bargain countries like Serbia and Thailand and Vietnam and Colombia. It's like somewhere in between. Some things are more expensive, like some things are less expensive, but it's a nice in between. So I mean, mobile internet data is more expensive. 30 US dollars for about 10 gigabytes or something like that. What else? Food is ranging from, yeah, different prices. I don't really know. It's like, yeah, it's not as expensive as North America, or UK or Western Europe, but it's somewhere in that sort of middle zone. Like, yeah, whereas in the UK you might pay £8 or £9 for a lunch. Here you might pay, 5 or 6, I guess. But I'm going to the nice, high quality places that have healthy food that I like to eat, and yeah, so yeah, definitely more expensive than Asia
Cool.
or
And
Eastern Europe.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you've seen a lot of the Americas, Europe, and Asia.
yeah.
Does South Africa feel like a completely different experience culturally because it's on a different continent, or does it feel similar to something you might feel in, let's say, Medellin or the States or Europe, London?
Well, yeah, it feels more like London because of the sort of British colonial culture. The sort of places that are influenced that culture feel a lot like London or Toronto, or like a lot of different places. And English is a spoken language, so that's the default sort of like colonial culture that is shared with the other Commonwealth and former British colony places. And it's very strong here because you still have a large population of people who trace their ancestry towards that. Also, the influence of Dutch culture is very interesting as well, which is, you know, the seeing that there's two languages, two European languages that are spoken side by side, being Afrikaans and English, interchangeably in the same spaces. Really interesting. And so, yeah, Dutch culture had a huge influence here. A lot of the names, a lot of the streets and stuff. But English is the main written language that you see on the streets, basically. You don't really see any other language but English on the streets. So it's the language of trade and commerce for sure. And well, I mean, the whole thing is very familiar while being very exotic. So it it offers a lot in that sort of it's accessible. And then there's stuff which is, and you can live, you know, your European lifestyle or North American lifestyle, but right there in your face all the time is so much different stuff happening and so much different stuff, you know, which is, you know, in some ways shocking, in some ways comforting, in some ways interesting, in some ways scary. I don't know. Yeah.
I hear that the nature is beautiful, having the mountain and the beach all in one place with the city. How is that?
Yeah, the Table Mountain is really amazing. Like seeing the sort of fog sort of dripping over the mountain like a waterfall of clouds or something. They call it the tablecloth actually. And yeah, just everything's really stunning. Everything is really just beautiful, and I guess this is one of the most beautiful places in the world, definitely. And well, I'm really grateful to be here, and I know I'm going to come back after this unless, you know, everything goes to hell.
Cool. That sounds great. I think you
Yeah,
covered a lot.
yeah, cool. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah.